god. Okay, what should I call it this time?
Not cool. Passion of the Pirate.
Passion of the Pirate.
It's Johnny Depp's Harry Potter crossover.
What the fuck?
What kind of shit is this?
Oh my god. You can tell how many times you've played the game just by opening up the game.
This is... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the trophy?
No.
Click a door 5 times? Is that all you think a trophy is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks?
Damn it.
Now, suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors...
I didn't even grab the fucking bucket.
Oh my god, Reza. How could you?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting.
I'm sorry, old friend.
As Stanley lifted his bucket, he felt a connection to all buckets everywhere. This adventure, he decided, was for all of them.
What's something we haven't done?
What's something we haven't done? We haven't hit on.
Okay, let's go do that.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Did we? Did we really?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Yep.
Was the bucket guiding him? This is certainly the most logical explanation.
Yeah, of course.
Totally agree.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
No.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it.
I mean, if I was gonna say it's a fucking bucket, but then I realized it bled that one time.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence?
He has feelings too.
Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to? Raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. Accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world.
Wow.
At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Can you still see everything?
But here was the proof.
Nope,
The heart of the
just
operation.
crashed.
Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility
That's
at
hot.
all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
So glad I did this ending. Oh, that was the best. That was awesome.
Honestly,
I've never seen the most attractive thing ever.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Were they, mate?
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There has to be a fucking way to get in there.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Is there a key card anywhere? Because there's a key card door that I think I can get.
What new mysteries lay in store for our bucket-loving heroes today? Let's find out.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Is there a key card in here?
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Because this door is
you need to
very
put that
suspicious.
door, right?
Yeah. Weird. I'm gonna try this again. Oh!
I don't think there's any way to survive.
Oh, that's right, this place. What the fuck happened? What the fuck?
Okay, this is day number 295, tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria
I like that
feel
show.
every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, It's always the same feeling.
Fucking bucket.
And the
Oh,
emptiness in my
that's not what he
chest
says.
when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure?
Fuck, this is depressing.
I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket.
Jesus Christ.
This
Fuck, this is just
is
real
my
fucking...
golden ticket. But I have to
Jesus.
be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get me. What's that? Who's there?
Who is Gumbarata?
Wasn't that the thing we were talking to the bucket
Yeah.
about before?
Is this a game theory video?
Welcome back to Game Theory. Have you seen fake Matt? Or like, other Matt?
Yeah.
All of his
'Cause I like how he
co-workers
sounds
were gone.
exactly
What
like
could it
him.
mean?
I
Stanley
know, it's weird,
decided
isn't
to
it?
go to the meeting room.
It's
Now
like the
this,
same
Stanley
person.
thought to himself, this
Who's
is a
Gumbarata?
bucket. And indeed it was.
We're gonna need
Is
Matt
this
Pat
man
for
like
this.
Gum-
Touched the bucket tightly to his...
Matt
This
Pat,
was
where
not
are
the
you?
correct way to the
I don't
We
care
need
which
you.
Matt Pat it
But
is.
Stanley had felt
As
the
long as
bucket
it's a Matt
calling to
Pat.
him,
Both
telling
of you
that
work
the
together, so
employee
both of you will
lounge
know the
was simply
same.
the place to be.
Just give me one. I'll promise I'll
And
give
here it
him back.
was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than
Wait,
the
go
meeting
check in that
room?
box.
Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Surely something then, dude.
I need a coin, quickly. I'm thirsty.
What if we press it in order or something?
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right. Then walking to the lounge. Then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey. The bucket had
We've
him
been through more than that, mate. You might not remember anything. I
I'll
really want to
go
know
to
who that
hell
gum.
and back, bitch.
I really want to know that fucking story.
Perhaps
Gumbarata.
this was where the bucket felt most
Yeah.
truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel it. But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open
Are we the
door
bucket?
on their left to get back to
Think so.
business.
I mean, according to that game show, everything's a bucket.
No, said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes.
Wait.
Go there.
Can you walk
go to the
across
cargo
the-
lift.
Can you walk across this thing? Like the edge? And walk onto that little thing over there? I think you can. Oh, you can. Well, now we're stuck, so.
Wait, I had it. Wait, I had it. There we go.
Oh.
So, mate. This, you know, this would be very nice if we had some jumps.
We can't even jump anyway.
Quickly, somebody do a circle.
Somebody draw a circle.
Huh.
We're gonna die either way.
Yeah. What if I land on the
like-
forklift?
But Stanley
Ouch.
feared that any path he walked
It almost looked like we were gonna.
I know, I thought we were actually gonna make it.
Fuck, this place sucks.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply...
Come here.
Finally, yes, the bucket. Yes. I love Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's
Can I
touch,
throw him
but
into
it
a
did
window?
little to discourage Stanley's belief
Can I
in the
throw him at
magic
someone?
of the bucket.
I really want to know that storyline, though.
Gumbarata.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nosferatu.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Or did I? Yes, I did. What's a way we haven't been with the bucket?
Both ways. Actually, have we gone right with the bucket? Oh no, because we can't get to the red doors.
Yeah.
Have we tried going to the escape?
I think I saw gameplay of the escape. I can't remember what happens though. I think we die.
Still no one was
Pretty
there.
sure that's what happens. But...
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Brett, Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. Coming to a staircase,
Let's go downstairs with the
Stanley and the
I've already
bucket
done
walked
that.
upstairs to the boss's
Legit
office.
boring. Fucking. Okay. Open.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned.
What if you
to
go by
discover not
the...
an
Hold on, don't do it
indication of
yet.
any human life.
Go to the
Crushed
drinks
by
on
the
the
weight
left,
of
on
this
the right.
revelation, Stanley may have broken
What if you
down
touch
into
that
an
with the
emotional
bucket?
dumpster fire, if not for the
Yeah.
soothing presence
Just
of
touch
the bucket.
everything
can
in
we-
that fucking
Even
room.
now,
Can
in
we
his darkest
fill
of
this up?
hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would. And
Wait, what
he
if you
knew it.
try to go by...
But
You know
Stanley
that
guessed the
place I
correct
showed
code
you?
by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew
The one
Yeah.
where
Was
if you
the
go
bucket
right... Try
guiding
going there with the bucket.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
What if I go back up with the bucket?
Anything behind there you can go in the bucket? Go forward and go right. I'll go back and right, left. Sorry. Can we not go right or left?
No, I'm trying. It's weird how that's a gap though. What if I try going back up the elevator with the bucket?
What if I become the bucket?
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again.
3?
The bucket said nothing.
What if we do 333?
Let's try that. We the devil in disguise?
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Well, he said, the number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Well, that was awesome. I'm glad that did.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
I found that quite entertaining.
Honestly?
And then we're gonna go back up and press it again.
No, 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 said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just
Once
want
you
you
do
to see
2,
what
3,
I see.
5,
Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
Why is it not talking to me? It likes to talk dirty in bed though.
Alright, let's try 2, 3, 4, 5. But first, I just want to try 3.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing.
Try
The
the...
bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all. Only silence.
piano.
Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Well, this bucket's about to get a whole lot disappointed when he finds out that I'm going back up.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend.
Bucket.
Surely there was a solution.
How do you not
mustn't there be?
understand? I thought we were meant to be pals. How do you not understand my needs?
Simple. It's like so simple, guys.
Ah, said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
Oh my god. This should have just been 333.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one. There was no one here.
Oh.
Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved,
What's our number?
uninteresting. He was a failure.
427.
And in that moment, Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit.
I think
Only
we're fucking a bucket.
silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Yeah, why don't we try 4273?
I don't think there's a code for it. Wait, what?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
fuck's
he had
out
simply
there?
missed a memo. No matter how
I'm
hard
going back
Stanley
out here.
looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Could have been the computer.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd...
Okay, I'm gonna try restarting the game again. Oh, for fuck's sakes.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed
Oh
a
my
memo.
fucking god. Shut the fuck up, Matt.
One man,